Images of the first half of the 1994 NASCAR Winston Cup season are indelible as four drivers are locked in a great battle for the series title. Leader Ernie Irvan has won 3 events, 4 poles, and only 2 races out of the top 10. He's never been lower than second in points. Dale Earnhardt had a long winless streak. He watched 4 drivers win from July of last year until he re-entered victory circle at Darlington this year. His up and down season has provided some unusual circumstances, yet he's only 78 points behind Ernie. Frustrations have been evident in the Valvoline team. Mark Martin has been literally hanging on to 4th in points. The Penske South team of Rusty Wallace has displayed an edge on the track and in the pits. On occasion, they have found themselves behind the wall. Twice they failed to finish. Yet this team has most victories, 5, and Wallace seeks his 4th consecutive today. But in his bid for a 2nd championship, one hurdle looms large. Daytona is next. In motorsports coverage welcomes you live to Daytona International Speedway for the Pepsi 400. Today's race, Dale Earnhardt will start from the pole position in the GM Goodwrench Chevrolet at a speed of 191.339 miles an hour. Dale Earnhardt with his first pole of the year. Loy Allen will be outside. He was the pole sitter for the 500 here in February at 190.868. Second row, Jimmy Spencer in the McDonald's Ford, car number 27. And outside of row number 2, the Kodak Film Chevrolet, driven by Sterling Marlin from Columbia, Tennessee. In the third row, it'll be Ernie Irvan and Ken Schrader. Jeff Bodine and Greg Sachs will occupy row number 4. In the fifth row, it'll be Terry Labonte and Jimmy Hensley. Row number 6, Dale Jarrett and Jeff Gordon. In the seventh row, Rusty Wallace going for 4 in a row and Bobby Labonte. In the 8th row, the 2 Jack Roush cars, Mark Martin from Batesville, Arkansas, the Valvoline Ford, and Ted Musgrave in the Family Channel Ford. Then we have Todd Bodine and Mike Wallace going to row number 18. There you see Mark Martin's 4th in points, 3 top 5s. Ted Musgrave is 11th in the points. No top 5s on the super speedways this year. Todd Bodine and Mike Wallace will start back in row number 9 for today's race. Jeff Purvis and Hut Stricklin will occupy row number 10. And the rest of the starting lineup you will see as the cars are picking up speed, getting set to go for 160 laps here at Daytona. Right now we have partly sunny skies. We hope that the showers that are predicted for later this afternoon will stay away.
And there were half a dozen cars that did not make the starting field here. Included among those is Wally Dallenbach Jr. in the Richard Petty car.
There are the Petties. Richie out qualifying Kyle. Derek Hope, Ward Burton, Mast and Hamilton took to the provisionals, and the champions provisional went to Bill Elliott. Here comes the field down for the start. The green flag is waving. Dale Earnhardt with a slow start as Loy Allen puts his Hooters car out in front for the moment, and the Pepsi 400 is underway from Daytona.
environmental damage on the left front of his nose. Apparently, Earnhardt had gotten into somebody, but it doesn't look like it's serious damage.
Now, here come the front three as Irvan, Marlin, and Bodine all come to... Oh, and we have a near crash on pit road as Ernie Irvan and Todd Bodine ran into each other. What happened, Jerry?
Well, contact. It was the front end of Todd Bodine's car. The left rear fender on Ernie Irvan Havoline Ford is crumpled in. The crew now never faltered 1 second. They have already changed right side tires. Now left side tires going on. Meanwhile, they have likewise changed left side tires on the Kodak Chevrolet. Here is Ernie Irvan down and away. They finally pulled the jack on Sterling Marlin's car. He will head down as a tire rolls across the middle of pit road. Rusty Wallace will dodge the tire as he brings his car in for his first pit stop.
Tire has made it to the grass, so it's not a threat to be hit. Rusty Wallace getting service on his Miller Genuine Draft Ford. And here is what happened as Bodine and Ernie made contact.
Todd Bodine is leaving the pits. Ernie Irvan's coming in, and they do make contact. And I tell you what, that tire, let's watch one more time. As Ernie's trying to get to his pits, Todd Bodine is trying to leave. And, folks, that could have been some serious damage. And, you know, I think this tire out there, no, someone has walked out there. They're going to get that tire with green flag situation going on. But meanwhile, Ward Burton is slow up at 3 and 4.
And this could be a caution as it looks as if that car will not make it back to the pit area.
I said 3 and 4. Is that turn 2?
It's over in turn 2, so he's got a long, long way to go. And as you take a look here on the right, let's point this out, guys. Some improvements to Daytona. That is a concrete wall and catch fence they've constructed to keep people out of the lake. Dick Trickle is in with new sponsorship, Skybox International on that car.
Jeff Burton is just now leaving the pits. The Rebestos Ford, he was leading the race, and the caution flag is out.
The caution comes out on lap number 54. The first of the day, and it's because Ward Burton is with Ernie Irvan still leading, and Dale Earnhardt in second. Jeff Bodine is third, then Mark Martin and Jimmy Spencer, and a crash has occurred.
It's over on the backstretch.
John Andretti has crashed, although the car is still running.
And note, yeah, the caution flag does come out right now. Another caution flag.
Our first caution of the day on lap number 94, so we ran nearly 100 laps. Our second caution, first one for a crash, I should say. And it comes on lap number 94. John Andretti driving for Billy Hagan, encountering a problem on the backstretch, but the car is running okay, or at least it's running well enough to make it back to the pits. Let's see if we can see what happened. Down to the inside, and
There was in a pack of cars there. Terry Labonte goes by, and see those roof flaps go up?
Yep,
They work. When he got backwards, then they went back down.
keeping the car on the ground and slowing it to where John could get it headed in the right direction and just drive away.
Yeah, I think the roof flaps did a great service to him there.
As they have so many times in the past.
And they should be able to hit now, Bob, and stretch it.
Yep.
Most of them should be able to go the rest of the way from here on, I believe.
Yep. There is John Andretti's car that you can see did make contact with the wall on the left, or the right rear, I should say, and we'll see now perhaps how it happened.
Okay, he's running right in front. He's the red car. Joe Nemechek in the yellow car, and the car just gets loose with him. He goes up, tries to save it, but he hits the wall. Greg Sachs and Joe Nemechek go by down on the inside. It looks like the wall's the only thing he made contact with.
Yep.
That was enough as far as he was concerned, though.
It looked like it
Go ahead.
tore a piece of sheet metal off the right rear of the car.
Then he came down through turns 3 and 4, and we believe maybe a tire blew. Yep. Oh, there it is. You can see.
Yeah, that's where the right rear tire blew. That's what caused the damage to the right rear quarter panel.
Yeah.
And there's a piece of debris that caused the caution flag. Oops, it's gone now.
Might have been able to make it. They won't have to see the yellow flag fly either. As they come to a halt behind them, Jeff Gordon. It is fuel only for Ernie Irvan. He does not take on tires. They're putting right side tires on Jeff Gordon's car. Likewise, and now they are stopping Ernie Irvan. The other cars are into pit road. We have a near collision as they jam the brake zone and now finally puts the go sign. Jeff Gordon is able to go past Ernie Irvan.
Boy, that was a mess. I thought we were going to have a major incident there.
Yeah, that was a definitely a mess down there, and I think NASCAR is going to sort that out because the Jimmy Cox board stopped the cars. There's another tire rolling across pit road, and cars are coming down through there. Rich Bickle goes by, no problem. Nemechek gets by.
There goes Dick Trickle. Let's take a look at this again.
We see Jimmy Cox with the paddle that tells Irvan to stop, which he did. Okay, now here comes Jeff Gordon. He's the next car out. He pulls up beside of Ernie and also the 4 car. And we see Jeff Bodine and Lake Speed almost make contact. Finally, Jimmy Cox said, hey, I'm getting out of here. This is too wild for me. And again, I think NASCAR's got to sort this situation out.
Yeah, they were holding the cars because there were cars still out on the track coming by. They were going to hold the cars until those cars went by and then send them out in the order that they were coming out of the pits. But it didn't quite work that way.
By the way, let me tell you folks that NASCAR did straighten out that mess at the end of pit road. They put Ernie Irvan in front and the 4 car. We probably didn't say that, but hats off to NASCAR for straightening it out.
We talk often about taking the air off of someone's spoiler. Watch Dale Earnhardt in the 3 car take the air off of Jeff Burton's spoiler, number 8.
Runs up there real close on Burton's left rear quarter, and you see how loose he gets him. Didn't touch him, but he got close enough that it felt like somebody touched him and got him loose, got him past, too.
Right behind was Mark Martin. This is how it looked to him.
Now see Burton get the car out of shape just a little bit. He has to squeeze out of the gas.
Jeff Gordon running a strong second has been on a points recovery, moving from a low of 18th in the points after Sonoma.
Ooh, Jeff Purvis spins on coming off the turn 2.
Several cars are going to be involved in this incident, at least one other.
Is that Brett Bodine down on the inside?
It's Brett.
There's some contact.
Joe Nemechek.
They come off that turn so fast and they can't get slowed down.
Jimmy Hensley involved.
Rusty Wallace slowed down and got through it, looks like, and Ricky Rudd as we see them going down the backstretch.
Bobby Hamilton there on your right. So our first major crash of the day involves Jeff Purvis and others as he lost it in the middle of corner number 2 and took several other cars with him.
Well, Jeff did not take on tires during his pit stop. He had a good pit stop. Here he comes down on the inside of Derek Cope, and the car just simply, the back end goes out from under him. Ted Musgrave was pretty close behind him. He tries to save it, but he can't do it. He goes around. There's Lake Speed coming up. Lake got by, it looks like, where Brett Bodine spun there, and there's Todd Bodine going by, and Morgan Shepherd. But then this other pack of cars come by as he comes back down in the middle of the track. And
there's Nemechek.
Yep.
We see that Hensley's already had some damage. The 16 car also hit the 51 cars he went by, the Family Channel car.
And from another angle, there's Morgan Shepherd getting by all right.
Labonte just stayed in the middle of the racetrack and hoped he didn't run into him. Nemechek has hit the outside retaining wall. He comes down and hits Purvis with the left side of his car.
Our most recent caution, Jeff Purvis in turn number 2 gets sideways and causes a chain reaction.
Well, it looked like Jeff Burton had to slow down a little bit, and so did Derek Cope, and then Purvis tried to dip down on the inside, lost control of the car, and then things really started happening.
And we'll see that Nemechek comes into the accident spinning. There he is. He is spun. As he comes back around, boom, he hits the 51 car again. And the Family Channel car did knock off the right front fender. The first car by Purvis was knocked off the right front fender.
From another angle, you can see how Nemechek came up and got sideways, then hit the wall, and as he came down the track, he hits Jeff Purvis. There's contact with him, and then he slides down into the infield, and he makes contact with Jimmy Hensley. But again, those roof flaps deployed on some of those cars, and it kept them on the ground.
Jeremy Mayfield in that other car got tagged a little bit in the grass, too.
Here's how Morgan Shepherd got through it.
Well, I'm sure about now his spotter said, hey, there's trouble up in front of you. Get it slowed down.
The seas parted, and he went right through it, didn't he?
Sure did. And it goes around as well.
By the way, they're having a couple of crew chiefs fined this weekend. Darrell Waltrip's and Joe Nemechek's will tell you about it later. Watch the action here. Oh, look at, who is that, Bodine sideways?
And Michael Waltrip made some contact in the 75. And says what, Todd Bodine you are definitely a hero in the mind of about 25 drivers.
I thought there was going to be a big wreck.
Yep. We have a lot of activity going on up front. It's Dale Earnhardt who has taken over the lead of this race with Ernie Irvan second and Jeff Gordon back to third. Here's how it happened.
Coming off turn 2, he gets just a fender alongside Jeff Gordon, moves Gordon up the racetrack. Ernie follows him, and also Schrader, and by Earnhardt and Irvan both go by Jeff Gordon.
And this is where most of the passing has been going on. We pointed it out earlier in the race. So we'll pay attention as the race goes on. We'll get down near the end of this thing.
Let me see Rich Bickenbach in 14th.
22 cars on the lead lap. Rusty Wallace is running in 26th position, a lap down in cars.
They're going to run about, I think it's half a dozen or so races. They'll be on the Brickyard 400 to Indianapolis.
Is at 140 laps, but Bill Elliott is off the pace. He has been running an incredibly high line all afternoon, much like Richard Petty used to do here, and it got a little too high as he came out of the fourth corner. There you can see at the top of your screen he hit the wall a couple of times, and that slowed him down and broke the momentum of a great run from 43rd starting spot.
Yeah, he didn't hit it too hard, but he doesn't want to take any chances. That car perhaps didn't steer right after he hit that wall, and so he has backed off, but way back at the back of the pack.
Back at Daytona and ESPN Speed World coverage of the Pepsi 400. And we have a crash in the backstretch. It's Sterling Marlin spinning off of turn 2 down into the grass, keeping the car on the surface.
No caution yet, and the car is moving. I don't know.
Still no caution.
Still moving.
Car is rolling back there. There might not be a caution flag with 10 laps to go.
Here comes the field. No, it does not get the caution. Jimmy Spencer takes second from Ken Schrader. And so does...
And something's wrong with Schrader's car.
Earnhardt and Martin have also gone around him rather quickly. Now Jeff Bodine. I don't know. I think he just got out of the accelerator.
I think he did too. I think he expected a caution. His father perhaps told him that, hey, the car is back there, and figured there would be a caution and backed off of it. And I expect that cost him.
In any case, Marlin makes it back around to the pit area. Here's how it happened as Jeff Gordon was to his inside.
Come off the corner. Jeff Gordon just touches Sterling in the left rear and turns him around, and boy, do those roof flaps do the job and keep that baby on the ground. Meanwhile, Marlin did not stop. He came down pit road and did not stop.
And Jimmy Spencer will give it a little Saturday night try.
You can bet on that.
Down on the last laps.
And John Kernan has more on Jimmy Spencer, who slides up the track a little again.
Well, let me tell you guys, this morning, the only car that Jimmy Spencer was worried about getting around was the number 3 car of Dale Earnhardt. He said Earnhardt had probably the strongest car in the field. I said, well, who's got the second? He said, well, I do, of course. So Spencer, riding behind Ernie Irvan right now, is looking for Irvan to possibly make a mistake so he can take advantage of it. But he is not being intimidated. Spencer thinks he can get around Irvan.
I don't think there is such a thing as Jimmy Spencer being intimidated. Here he comes off the corner down through the tri-oval, completing another lap. We now have 5 to go, and Spencer is within a car length.
What do you think, Ned? Jimmy's thinking, what do I do? Is he trying to figure out what to do?
I think he's figuring right now. See, there's going that high groove there. He's going to see what kind of a run that'll give him coming off of turn 2. Don't think it's going to give him the run that he needs, but he had to try it to see. I think turn 2 is where he'll try to make the move, but he didn't lose too much, but he did lose a little bit of that. So we'll see if he tries something else as he goes into turn 3. He's still going that high groove. He's going to try that up there. He thinks that might be the key to moving around here.
He thinks he can get some momentum as he comes off the corner, and it might work for him.
Hey, it worked up there in that turn. He picked up a couple of car lengths by doing it up in turn 4. So he's learning there right now what he needs to do.
Some slower traffic to pass here in the form of Dave Marcus and Jimmy Hensley. They clear that traffic nicely and now have clean racetrack ahead of them. Bill Elliott is the last car on the lead lap, being shown in 20th position at the moment. The other Junior Johnson car. Jimmy Spencer is looking for a way around Irvan and to victory lane here at Daytona.
I tell you what, that high line is working for him, and he is getting some great runs as he comes off the corner.
I think he is testing it all he wants to do right now, Benny. He's going to sit there until there's about 2 laps to go and then try to make that move. I believe he's there. Okay, that worked for me, that high line. I'll sit here and ride behind him a lap or two and then try to really make the move when there's 1 or 1.5 laps to go.
Back in 3rd and 4th as you watch Jimmy Spencer look to the inside of Irvan, Earnhardt, and Martin. Spencer, is he going to be able to do it? No.
Well, maybe he's trying another groove to see how that bottom groove will work.
That was probably his trick to get Irvan to try to protect the inside. Or the
Look at this.
Very good point, Ben.
One of Jimmy Spencer's crew members so excited that he can't even watch the racetrack to see if his driver might be able to pull off a victory. They enter the turn 3 and 4 banking, and when they come down this time, we'll have just 2 laps remaining. Don't forget, there are Earnhardt and Martin back there in 3rd and 4th having a battle of their own that Earnhardt has control of at the moment. And then we have Schrader and Bodine back of them. So 3 groups of 2 cars. And Jerry Punch has a comment on Ernie Irvan.
Well, they just asked him a moment ago, Ernie, what do you think about the car, the 27 car? Ernie said very quickly, guys, he is awfully stout.
He is indeed. Let's see if he can make it work here. He goes to the inside. Oh,
Good work there.
Yeah.
Now he's got to go to the high side going into that turn. I think that was another decoy, as Benny pointed out there a moment ago.
Oh, yeah. Got to salute this guy because he's trying every inch of the racetrack, and for every groove. He has 1 lap to see if he can get the job done. The white comes out. Ernie Irvan leads the last lap. Let's see if Jimmy Spencer can get the job done here on the final circuit of this event. He heads up high on the racetrack once again with a lot of momentum build-up.
Yep, he's making Ernie protect that low side of the racetrack. He's going to have some momentum when he comes off this turn, Bob. He's going to have enough to move up beside of him, I believe.
And he makes a move to the inside at the halfway point down the backstretch, and he gets the lead, or at least he gets an advantage on Earnhardt. They touch coming down the backstretch.
That's Ernie. Earnhardt. Side by side here they come for the checkered flag. Who's it going to be?
Will it be Ernie Irvan on top or Jimmy Spencer on the low side off of corner number 4? Here they come. It's going to be a drag race to the checkered flag. Jimmy Spencer wins it. Boom, baby. How about that? Jimmy Spencer becomes the 3rd first-time winner in 1994.
400 is history, and the man is about to climb out, and listen to this roar. A big smile, 37-year-old Jimmy Spencer. And Jimmy, congratulations, my friend.
Dad, Mom, love you. Thanks. Junior, he never gave up. You know, I said I never give up on him, and I never gave up on him. I never gave up driving. Ernie Irvan drove a hell of a race. My guys never gave up, neither did I. I got to thank the McDonald's crew, all the McDonald's owner-operators, everybody that helped me in my career, everybody. Thank you.
Jimmy, let's talk about that last couple of laps. Did you think you might be able to get Ernie, and it was close? I mean, you guys came very close to touching a couple times.
We touched good, you know. I mean, heck, racing to win. Ernie gave me enough room. I got to thank him for that. My car was real free on the top of the racetrack, and his car get loose on the bottom. He gave me enough room. I got a shot at him, went down the back straightaway. We touched. I come out on top. Thank you for a clean race.
Indeed, it was clean, and they are celebrating here in Victory Lane as they are about to give him a bath down here. There comes the cooler, the Pepsi cooler in the McDonald's uniform, and Jimmy Spencer is about to celebrate.